I'll let you decide when to throw those in. The love story of Chris and Kacey began early May of 2007 at a local San Diego hangout called the Stingery. Kacey was there with her roommate and several guy friends who became overly protective when Kacey took notice of a few gentlemen doing magic tricks and drawing a crowd. Ooh. Call it being annoyed, or call it jealousy, but when Kacey tried to give the magic guys, we'll just call it magic guys, her phone number, she was literally pulled away by the guy friends. Aww. The very next day, one of the magic guys texted Kacey, and from there, everything that happened next was a whirlwind. The magic guy, can you guess who that was?
Yeah.
No. Was Chris. The two would hang out with other friends for the next several months. Everything seemed very platonic, if you will. Neither felt all that romantically interested in each other, but both enjoyed the friendship. Until one night, at a friend's house, they started making lists of the must-watch music videos for each other. They examined each other's list and found that most of the songs were the exact same. Kacey thought, hey, if he has that good of taste in music, then we're probably destined to be together. Funny thing is, it was at the same moment that Chris looked at Kacey in that way, and less of a bratty little sister. It wasn't long after that when they would start dating, and soon they were moving from San Diego to South Beach. And Kacey was totally in love. Later, the two would once again move across country to Los Angeles, and there would come the engagement. About a year into the relationship, Kacey knew Chris was the one. She had grown up from an immature 21-year-old to a woman, and was a better person for having known him. Chris also knew long before the proposal that Kacey was the one. They always talked like they would be together forever, and he knew they were a great couple and very much in love. Aww. After getting the ring and asking Kacey's parents for their permission, Chris made plans. Chris enlisted all of Kacey's friends living in California to assist. The two were supposed to meet up with friends in Malibu for dinner on May 27, 2012. The problem was that she wasn't dressed for the occasion. But with jeans, hair in a messy bun, and high heels, she arrived at the restaurant and immediately asked Chris for a piggyback ride to make it through the gravel. Chris said no. Because, see, the ring in the box, they were in his pocket. They arrived at the table. There, all her friends were dressed to the nines and ordering cocktails, even Chris, which rarely ever happened. But Chris was nervous and knew what was coming. At Chris's cocktail order, Kacey let out a, "Woo, baby! Having a drink? Tonight's gonna be fun." Minutes later, surrounded by friends with camera phones, recording video, Chris pulled back his chair, knelt down on one knee, and asked that question she longed to hear. "Kacey, will you marry me?" After lots of hugging and crying and placing that gorgeous ring on her finger, Kacey and Chris were engaged. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, you can give them more applause for that, that's fine. I would like to share with you how Chris and Kacey ended their versions of their love stories. They will each be hearing these words for the first time. Kacey wrote this about Chris, and I quote, "Chris is the perfect man for me because he is, first of all, literally the smartest person I've ever known. But he's very humble about it. He's so loving and sweet to me and just treats me like he's never loved anyone this much before. I love his sense of humor and his amazing tastes in music and movies. No matter where we are, we always seem to have fun and always have something to talk about. Even though it's usually just the two of us, our conversations never get dull. I love that we always have stuff to talk about with each other. He's also perfect for me because he's a little bit older, so I trust and respect him more. I know he's got more life experience under his belt, and I'm happy to take his lead on things. There are 1,000 more things I could say about why Chris is perfect for me, but if you know us, then you can already see it. We were just meant to be together, and I feel so grateful and blessed to have found him. End quote. When asked what makes Kacey the perfect woman for him, Chris wrote this about Kacey, and I quote, "Why is Kacey the perfect woman for me? I don't know exactly, but she just is. We're a great team. We fit each other very well in terms of how we work together and interact with others. And she's fiercely loyal, which I value quite a bit. We're still in love after the past 6 years, and she's definitely the prettiest, funniest, and smartest girl I know. We're going to grow old together." End quote. And now, you're all invited to watch as they begin to write the next chapter of their love story by sharing their first dance as husband and wife. Show your love one more time for the new Mr. and Mrs. Chris and Kacey.
No, it wasn't like I went over and approached her and we started dating. It wasn't like that at all. It was more like we were hanging out, not thinking of each other in romantic terms at all. She was kind of like this bratty little sister in the group.
We were just friends, and we would stay up really late at night, and like we would want to play music videos for each other, but like each of us would have a piece of paper, and I would write my list down and he would write his list down, and then when we would like show our list to each other, a lot of the songs were the same. And so I don't know, I just felt like that was cool, and then I just started falling more and more for him. But that was like the moment, I think, when I was like, oh, I really like him.
And over time, we started to develop feelings for each other. She started to notice me, and I started to notice her in a way that wasn't, it wasn't necessarily how things started at first. This real strong relationship that will last for our whole lives.
Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I will be brave, I will not let anything take away. Standing in front of me.
There's a lot that attracted us to each other. We're a good couple. We sort of naturally well as a couple. We're a good team. We work well together.
I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I would find you. Time has brought hearts to beat. I have
both want